Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a still as sort of a beginning of the sequence, and then also at the end of the sequence. So if you if you have your images and say I wanted to use this steel one as a beginning, you can bring it in and you'll see it will, if you, it will snap kind of to the beginning and it will insert itself right in the beginning of that. And then you can come in and do your transition here if you wanted to do a fade again, freeze the frames, maybe pull it out a little bit, right, however far, and then we'll fade that in, right, for a couple of seconds. And let's see what that looks like. I may have taken too much time for that, but right. Oh, that's all right. Let's pause that. Maybe pull this back a little bit, right? So you get a little bit more of the still in there, right? And then we'll put one at the end as well. So let me shrink this down a little bit. And then, oh, maybe it's that one, depending, it's different times. You know, maybe we'll just do a little artificial lighting at the end after that guy, right? And you can always pull this longer, right? This allows you, because it's a still, it's just going to play a still image. So if you look at the properties too, it'll show you all that stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and maybe can fade that for a little while, and let's play that and see what it looks like. This one we need a transition, so if we do a fade, and I always forget to set the time, and we play that part, preview it, right, and then should fade to black right there. Alright, maybe 1.5 would be okay for that one. Yeah. Alright, so now we've got that. Let's go ahead and pull in a video, an audio file. So I'm gonna expand this guy. Let's pull this guy back over here, and we'll expand this out a little bit. Woo. Okay. And I'll go get the audio files. So I've got a couple of audio files in here. One is kind of sedate, and the other one's not as sedate. So we'll use the Philly Crew one, and I'm going to push it sort of over to here, and I'm actually going to move it where it gives me a little buffer on the beginning, and a little buffer on the end. So I want to split this because it's obviously way too long. So I'm just going to pull my thing over to here and give me a little space at the end, and then I'm just going to clip that guy, and I'm going to pick this guy and delete it, right? And so if I play that, right, you can always mute it, and you can always turn the volume up and down here. So if I unmute that, you can turn the volume intensity. So if you want it to be louder, you can kind of hear it coming from my headphones, but it's pretty straightforward. Let me go ahead and pause this. You can also pick the audio, and under audio effects there's a fade in, so you can fade it in at the beginning for 3 seconds, and there's also a fade out, which is, you know, for 3 seconds, so you can see it pulling the volume up and down. So if I play this, it fades out at the end. So it works out pretty well. So that's just, you know, super quick. The last thing is producing the video. So you're going to export, and you're going to export as a video file. You could export to some of these others if you want to. There's also a lossless file, which is probably a series of individual renders. But you go to video file and it brings up a dialog box. It wants the name. So and you can tell it where to save. It's going to save in my videos folders, which is fine. The preset is custom, so it's actually not widescreen for these. I actually made it the custom size, so it's looking at the size of the clips. So it's auto matching the resolution. You could go in and pick any of these that match yours. So if I were to pick like the 1020, it would letterbox it, or I can crop and zoom it, right, and it would letterbox around it. But I'm just going to auto match the content and crop and zoom it. And then you can set the frame rate, which I would put no higher than 30 frames per second, and there's no subtitle. And then you just click create, and it's going to make that video file for you. So and you should have an MP4 and then another project if you save this that you can update later. So hopefully that's helpful, and I will talk to you guys later on about it. You can ask questions. All right, thanks.